And the Rams do it again, right?
I mean, they don't have a first round draft pick till like what? My kids in college? Is that what it is?
So short term, who do you think won the trade?
Short term, I would probably say the Rams because they do get the upgrade at the quarterback position. But long term, they just blew their entire franchise up. They're in a win now or bust mode.
They are, but here's the thing though. This isn't their first, like they haven't picked in the first round since they picked Jared Goff. And now we're looking at that pick, and was it the right pick? I don't know. I remember his rookie year, Chris Carter was on First Things First, and he was like, this guy stinks. He can't play football, which is why that's why he did not win the starting job. And then, we blamed Jeff Fisher because Jeff Fisher was running a 7th grade offense. And then McVay, he comes with his bells and whistles, and then Goff looks like he has a pulse, pay him too much money, and then now he's sitting here, in Detroit. But I'm still torn on who won the trade because I know Matt Stafford has good arm talent, but shit, Jamarcus Russell had good arm talent.
Yeah.
They got the same number of playoff wins.
Yeah, you're not lying, but the difference is, I guess not really the difference, but the thing is now Matt Stafford has some decent wide receivers. I'm not going to call them great because Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, they're good. They're not great, and that's something that he's never really had. He had Megatron for a few seasons. Yeah, I get that, but Megatron was always double, triple covered, and he had nobody else that could even catch the ball on the lineup. So now he's got a couple of options. He's got a good tight end with Tyler Higbee. They've got some good running backs there in LA. So let's see what he can do with a pretty good offense. Oh, and by the way, that Rams defense is pretty good too. So they won't have to score 52 points a game to win these games. I'm going to go ahead and say that Matt Stafford's going to win him at least one playoff game this coming up season.
Yep. He better. I mean, this is his chance. If he's what everyone says is a great quarterback in a bad team or whatever, well, now's your chance. You got out of Detroit, make something happen.
Yeah, and you talk about the draft picks. I think it's we overrate what that means because I don't trust Detroit's front office to properly use those draft picks. I mean, they took a corner when they needed a quarterback. Again, I like Matt Stafford, but you're getting ready to rebuild. Matt Patricia was terrible. And you could have taken, Herbert, Tua, take your pick of one of those two. But I'm starting to see that there's no more middle class of quarterbacks in the league now. It's the haves and the have-nots. It is you have a top end quarterback that you're in love with, or you have a bridge quarterback while you're looking for your next best quarterback. Because if you look at all the teams who are moving quarterbacks, it's really crazy to see that you trade Goff for Stafford. Like that's unheard of. Then you have 49ers just right up the road trying to get off of Jimmy Garoppolo.
They're offering their team for Kirk Cousins now. You see all that?
Yeah, like I get Shanahan have the relationship with Kirk Cousins, but come on, man.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. Brad Holmes, the new GM in Detroit, has a relationship with Jared Goff. He was the one that was in the locker room there in LA whenever they drafted him. So, I mean, these NFL connections, they usually end up coming full circle.
Yeah, and that has a huge effect in the coaching realm, but that's a full podcast. But let me see who else has a quarterback on the move, because I mean we got Deshaun who's requesting out, and is he trying to? It's the NFL offseason is starting to look like an NBA offseason with all the movement, all the talking, all the storylines. I mean, it's Super Bowl week, and we're caring more about a Stafford for Jared Goff trade, Deshaun Watson, than we actually are about the damn Super Bowl game. Do y'all think they actually moved Deshaun Watson?
Zach?
No, I don't think they do before the season starts. Like Brandon said, they've come out and said they do not want to trade him, which I totally understand. If I had one of the greatest quarterbacks in Texas, in Houston, Texas, Texans rather history, I wouldn't want to get rid of him either. But I don't think it's up to them. I think it's completely up to Deshaun Watson. And if they don't decide to trade him, then I expect him to sit out for at least the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. I think his price will go down if he does that, and then he'll be on the move. I do not expect him to play in a Texans uniform ever again.
So what about those fines that he misses for every time he doesn't show up for training camp? He doesn't show up for a game. Do you think he's going to take that into consideration?
No, I think that's chump change. I think he's sick of the Texans organization. I think he's just had it with them. They didn't get his guy that he wanted for head coach. I mean, they traded away his absolute best wide receiver he's ever played with. Why would you stick around? Why would you play for that team who is notorious for wasting players' careers? You talk to J.J. Watt, you talk to Andre Johnson, Arian Foster. Those are guys who are great at their positions, and they basically floundered in Houston because they never built anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that he's going to kind of push or force the envelope a little bit, so to say, and he's going to start sitting out. He's going to at least threaten the fact that, hey, I'm not going to come and play. And then the Texans are going to scramble. You don't want to go into the season unsure if your starting quarterback's going to come in there. You don't want to start the season with whoever their backup is, Colt McCoy or whoever it is down there in Houston. I'm not sure of their backup, but you don't want to start the season with that. You want to at least pull some strings and get something in there, something in place. I mean, hell, maybe Jimmy G is the answer, and maybe Deshaun ends up in San Francisco if they're willing to deal him. Who knows? But I agree with Zach. I don't think he plays in Houston.
So I've been listening to a couple of football guys in the media talk about it, and they're like, the Texans don't have to do anything. Like, players don't control the narratives. They don't make decisions. Like, it's the agents, making all this noise in the media, and they're trying to win the war of public opinion, but that doesn't change anything for football. Like, no, he's going to show up, he's going to play football. And I say, yeah, maybe 5 years ago that works. But when you have an organization who the former owner said some things that he probably should have not said aloud. Even if you feel that way, I got you. You should just know who you're employing and how that makes them feel sometimes. And then the thing, though, is don't tell me you're going to include me in a process and not do it. Like, you could have just not told him that, hey, we're going to have you in the loop for GM and coach. And he may be disgruntled, but he's still there and he's still quiet. And now Nick Caserio has the opportunity to start to build that relationship with him from a place of good hope, And did you hear what Brett Favre said?
No, what did he say?
I don't think so.
Brett came out and said, I'm old school. I think Deshaun's not handling this the right way. He should just, show up and be there because he's getting paid a lot of money.
Brett Favre, the man who at the end of his career was bouncing around from team to team to team because he wasn't happy with the way things were going. He wasn't happy that the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers to come in behind him. Come on now, Brett.
Yeah,
he took one too many shots to the head.
That's also easy to say coming from a guy who got a winning team behind him and was able to make it to a Super Bowl and win one. Deshaun can't say the same.
Yeah, he said words to the fact that, you just go out there, you play, the chips fall where they may. And it's like, hold on, Brett. You were saying you were going to retire just so you didn't have to go to training camp anymore. And then you would come back. Like, if Tom Brady says it, Peyton Manning says it, I got it, Brett Favre, the messenger matters.
Yeah. I think Dan Marino saying it or something like that would carry a lot more weight.
Yeah, because Dan Marino stuck it out. Obviously, one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it and not get a ring. And, we're still on this quarterback thing. The 2016 quarterback class has been a very, very interesting class. We got Goff, who just got traded. Wentz, who the new coach has not committed to Wentz as the starter, which I think he will be because the owner is going to set the lineup. And then you have Dak, who may be the best quarterback in that class, but he hasn't got paid yet.
And coming off that injury, that may be another question mark for him. Is he going to be able to be mobile like he was in the past? Is he going to be worth $35 million a year that the Cowboys are talking about offering him?
I don't think there's probably only 3 or 4 quarterbacks that are actually worth that much. And I understand what the market is. And I'm all for, hey, you as a player, go get paid, get what you want, get what you think you deserve, and get what somebody's going to pay you. But if you're actually trying to build a winner, we're seeing that being the highest paid quarterback is not the formula to win a championship.
No, I mean, we were talking about the Patriot Way earlier in the episode. Part of that Patriot Way was Tom Brady taking reduced salaries to spread it out, to get other guys, to get a good line, to get a good defense, to get decent running backs and stuff like that, to surround him with other talents. We were talking about it last night. If the Cowboys do end up paying Dak and he's getting his $35 million a year or whatever it ends up being, between him, Zeke, and Amari Cooper, they're going to be eating up $68.7 million in cap space between 3 players. You still got to pay 50 other dudes out of 110 million.
Yeah.
And are any of those 3 players top 5 at their position today?
Negative.
Yeah, it's crazy. And how long is it going to be until Dak gets injured again? Because without a good offensive line, he's going to have to continue to scramble, and that's exactly how he got hurt this first time. I don't know. That's a big kind of bet to take, and I get it. Like you said, baby, I understand going for the money because you never know what's going to happen. You might as well get as much as you possibly can, but with that, you better be ready to not ever win a championship. And especially in Dallas, they've already paid all those people all that money. There's not going to be any left for anyone else.
Yeah, I totally agree. And when I have these conversations, I always have to look at it through 2 different lenses. I look at it from my personal lens. I want the money. When I played football in high school, I played DB. I'm not winning or losing the game. So with that mindset, I need my money. But then if you're looking at it as a team builder, it's how do I maximize each dollar under this hard salary cap that we have in the league, which I really think salary caps should be abolished. I don't know why we have salary caps. If somebody wants to spin, let them spin. But again, conversation for another day. I earlier talked about there not being a middle class for quarterbacks anymore. It's either you're good or you're gone. And with some of these Deshaun Watson rumors where he could possibly end up, in Miami, I see that as, Tua, if they make that trade and they attach a draft pick, Houston may still go draft a quarterback. And now Tua's sitting in no man's land. And do y'all think Tua could become the next Josh Rosen?
I think that could be a possibility. I mean, he came in and he made a few good plays with the Dolphins this year. And the Dolphins, I mean, I know they didn't make the playoff, but that was a playoff caliber team. But they were only a playoff caliber team because Ryan Fitzmagic bailed him out. He came in and late in some of those games at the end of the season and won when they should have probably lost because Tua wasn't able to do anything. He's too afraid to throw the ball downfield. He's too afraid to really get out and do anything on his own. And, you mentioned Josh Rosen. He's had probably the worst luck of any quarterback in the history of the NFL with where he's ended up and the way things have gone. But if he's part of this Deshaun Watson trade, Tua very, very well could end up in that same conversation.
Yep.